I was actually looking at this webinar, thinking, what can I bring to you and really refresh your mind? I think a lot of times when business owners, when you work on your business, you know how exactly you're doing, but it's not necessarily, you know for sure that is how everybody else is doing as well. Just because you are in your business and you can get knowledge for yourself, that doesn't settle your unsettling feelings. You may feel like, well, maybe I'm doing it wrong. Why am I this way? Why the other people not that way? And you don't really know. And you're really just kind of looking on the street and to see whether people are doing the same thing. So this is the value we bring to you. Community CPA, we're in business for helping businesses like you. So if we see one doing one way, and we have 10,000 clients on our book, and what people do really tells us what should be done, and the trend, the tendency, the new ways for 2022, and most importantly, to understand 2021. And so many times, not one, not two, so many times the business owners would come to me, tell me that, Ying, pandemic is hard for every business. So 2020 obviously is really hard. But what hardest is not even 2020, it's actually 2021. So there you go. And why is 2021 is hardest? And what is 2022 gonna bring to us? So let me just go through what I have prepared for you, and let's talk through this, because this will make you feel settled. This will make you think that, wow, I'm doing the right thing. So I want you to stay with me for the next 40 minutes, and then let's go through what I have here. So today's webinar is about business ideas, how to scale for 2022. Okay, and before I start, I do want to introduce myself. I am on the National Taxpayer Advocacy Panel. This is an advisory panel to IRS. So taxpayers first. If you have any issues, the IRS system is not working for you, or you experiencing some difficulties to reach out to IRS for whatever reasons, and I will be your Iowa connections to voice those concerns, and I'll bring to the committee. There's many people there work with me, and we will submit that recommendation to IRS. So that is the function of how IRS will hear the grassroots input, then improve upon the collective recommendations to make IRS agency an agency that works for the taxpayers, right? Of course, I also want to mention to you that I have a book on Amazon called Appointment with Ying at 8 a.m. And you're probably thinking, well, why 8 a.m.? It's an 8 a.m. starting of the day. So it's a book about starting up a business. Then I am finishing up the second book, which is Appointment with Ying at 10 a.m. This book is about growing your business. I'll tell you, I have a hard time to finish this one because I felt I myself are still in the journey of growing Community CPA. So I have a lot to put in. At the same time, I felt like I could never finish it. So for that reason, it took really longer than what I thought it would be, but I think I'm at the final chapter, which this webinar itself will go into that chapter as well, is COVID. So I have a chapter at the end of the 10 a.m. book is talking about COVID. Of course, our webinar, we like to make no responsibility disclaimers for our webinar, and do not cut and paste, apply it without senses, and really do your own study and give yourself input before you get on to just use whatever materials we have here, right? Or contact us. And if you see something better and we can do better, then contact us and we will improve upon. And, someone was asking me, since we posted this webinar, I got a client calling me and saying that, Ying, a lot of those stuff's on website. We can go to website to look at that. And, why do we need to spend this time with you? So I thought that was a really interesting question, just because, you can spend your time elsewhere, but you are here today. I'll tell you the reasons why this talk here with me will make a lot more sense to you, because I am really grounded for the small businesses. In our firm, we don't have any clients making over $100 million sales. No. And our largest client is $100 million. If our largest client growing, then we're growing. So, but today I tell you that most of my clients are between 1 million and 100 million. So I'm really grounded. It's really the small business. I don't have, our firm are not the firm that can serve Microsoft or maybe Tesla and Elon Musk, just because we don't deal with billion-dollar client, right? And we have 25 years running on this level. So that tells you everything we say, everything we relate are for people, for the entrepreneurs who are also in this range of sales. So if you are making $2 million, $3 million, you are our sweet spot, because what we know, it is really what you need to know. Okay. And we also have, as a firm, we also have a very wide range of understanding of industry. We don't specialize in anything. For example, some of the CPA firms, they will tell you that they only do construction companies. We're not so. We're, if you want to ask me what was the only things you do, the only things we do is we actually speak multiple languages. So we do things a little differently. So we speak English. We also speak 9 different other languages collectively. So the only thing, if you have to cut off a firm with certain specialties, maybe, multicultural, diversity, it's just a DNA of Community CPA. That's why it is not named after anyone's last name, and it is named after the community that the firm resides with, right? So we have, in terms of industry, we know retails, we understand manufacturing, we have clients who are professional firms and constructions. So all sort of industry, that gives a really good touch in terms of the depth of knowledge that we have for you. And interesting fact, do you want to know? Do you want to know how many appointments I have a year? I'll tell you, it's about 1,500 appointments a year. So for the past 25 years I'm working, I probably collected about 39,000 appointments, meeting with people, talking with people. So you bet I do know what other people thinking. I do know how businesses are moving. So let's look at 2021. In 2021, did you realize that the business after the pandemic 2020, the business didn't go back to normal? The business didn't go back to where it was, right? The business actually ended up to take off to a different direction for a lot of business owners. And for example, in terms of technology, there's just a surge of technology thrown at a small business. Okay, if you are a mama papa shop, you suddenly realize you need a website, and you suddenly know that to go to, if you have a restaurant, you're already connected with the delivery company and you use their app, you use their terminal. And if you are not, retail business, if you are a service company, you suddenly already got into Zooms and you got into Microsoft Teams, and here you are videoing of the meeting. So we all embrace technology in a very different way. And of course, Community CPA also did that. What we did really very consistently is the videos, is the webinars you're watching today. We started on March 23rd. And we have not stopped since 2020, March 23rd. And if you search YouTube channel, you're going to find over 600 videos because we're producing them every day, every week, and bring you the most related knowledge you need to have for running your own business. So technology, that will never return. That will only enhance going forward. So folks, don't kidding yourself that you don't need technology for 2022. You do. Okay. The other thing is client change. And have you noticed that your client is not the same anymore? And maybe there are still same stay with you, but there's also new. And have you experienced certain ways of client demand? And you found out that already, right? 2021, and you look at 2021, you know your clients start to shifting. Even with Community CPA, our clients shifted a lot. Some, I always say that CPA firms is like a pressure cooker. One pandemic like this one happens because you have clients that needed your help. And even though they're not doing very well and they don't have money to pay you, but they needed your help. So you have those clients. You also have clients that who are growing so fast they couldn't handle themselves. Then they're here too. So on both the candles is burning on both ends. So that's the year of 2020 and 2021 for Community CPA. Of course, other industry feels the same. And as long as you are dealing with people and you didn't shut your door and you know your client is different. And the employees are different too. And then you start to finding out there's so much more to a to an employee, and you just see them coming to work and they go home and life seems to be normal. Suddenly pandemic brought everything to the surface. It's not normal, right? Have you seen people sick with mental illness? And if you have not, I'll tell you that sitting where I'm sitting, I have seen so many. And have you realized that the customers you have and have a very short fuse, they easily get upset. And I went to Walmart the other day, just over very little things. And the people are just very emotional. And this is just not normal. And we don't used to be this way, right? People's emotion are on the short fuse and the things are getting tense very easily. And have you seen people driving recklessly on the highway? A lot more than before. So this is all related to this big environment, the political environment. Things are, not really under any one particular control, but we're in it. So this is the business environment we're in. And mental illness, like I said, and the COVID might be gone, but the COVID waves stayed, okay? And the small business owners, and what you're gonna do with 2022 coming on board. So, this is what I do, okay? I'll tell you, this is what I do. I actually pull out 2021, every year in the very beginning of the year, I set goals for Community CPA. I want to accomplish certain goals and I set them. And at this time, I pull them back and I want to see whether I meet the goal or not. And, I also want to question myself that how are my customers? How are you all, right? I question myself. And did they change over the COVID time? Is my customer same like before? Did they change over COVID time? How are my staff? How are my team? And did they change over the COVID? My answer to that question is a lot. They change a lot. Some matured a lot and really stepping up. Some are also stepping away. Some are just fall off. So, you have all the combination of personalities creating different events, right? And how are your surrounding business? What about other CPA firms? What about my peers who runs the CPA firm just like me? A lot are going through the very same thing. And on the market, there's so many firms are for sale for a reason, right? So I'm just talking about one industry, but for restaurant, it's the same. There's so many restaurants are for sale, but there's also restaurants are acquiring. See how different they are, and why do they do different things? Why am I not the one that are acquiring? Why am I the one ending up selling my business? So those are the questions you need to ask yourself. Really think very hard, and why is that? Could very well be that I'm just done. I don't want to do this anymore. Nothing wrong with that. Life goes on phases, right? You go through, for women I know, and we go through life stages. When the kids are younger, we are different. When kids are older, we are also different. Right now, I can put in 100% of my time into business without missing out anything for my kids because they're big. They don't need me every day, right? But if you have 3 years old, 5 years old, it is your time to actually do something for them. So if for that reason you close business, I would not call it loose. I just call it normal circumstances. That's what you do. You do what you need to do. And notice that in 2021, we have this huge shortage of things. Think about it. Shortage of what? People are shortage of capital and cash. People are shortage of materials for construction, and people short of staff. And so Walmart even closed for Thanksgiving because they don't have employees. They couldn't really run. Okay. And look at some of the Starbucks they closed because they don't have burritos working. Okay. So shortage. And shortage of what else? Shortage of customers' empathy. So your customer is much more demanding than ever, just because their life is not easy. Nobody's life is easy. So for that, there's issues. There's easily triggered argument or unpleasant event because your customer doesn't have that peace of mind, and your customer just easily irritated. So that is just how it is, right? And shortage of what else? Professional help. Have you heard of people coming in? And we hear that all the time. And someone coming into the firm, and he already called up 5 other CPA firms. They don't take customer. Nobody has the time. And the RRF is coming up, and they couldn't find anybody to apply for them. Short of professional help. Big time, right? And the shortage of technology understanding. For small business owners, those are just the pressures, the help that the pressures, the struggles that you have. But I will still say that it is time to scale your business, even though you have all of these, seemingly not able to get over kind of hurdles, seemingly, because they are temporary. Your material shortage is temporary. Your staff shortage is temporary. And everything, your customer's mood swing is temporary. And your professional help shortage is temporary, because the government is not going to roll out PPP, ERTC, and all of these RRF in one shot. They're done with that, right? Those are the things the CPA firms and professional service companies are struggling, because it is coming in just too quickly, too often, and too unprepared for small business. Now, for 2022, I have a couple of highlights for you for 2022, if you hear me. The number one things in 2022, you got to plan, you have to be prepared. That's compliance. Compliance. What do I mean by compliance? I mean the government audit. I mean the inquiries from different kind of government coming to you for small businesses, because the small businesses are the one getting quite a bit of government assistance, right? You may be getting PPP, and you got IRF, and maybe you even got ERTC credit, whatever those things you got in your business, and you are opening up the gate for the government to come to look at you. That's fine. A lot of small business is going to have that. And the Biden administration put $8 billion more to make compliance a thing for during this time. So it will coming up in 2022. Of course, the next important compliance is the RRF annual report, right? Folks, did you hear that? If you received the RRF fund, and before December 31st, you need to do annual report. That is your immediate compliance requirement. So compliance, I call that pandemic wrap up. The government agency just gonna come around, making sure you did everything properly. Otherwise, you need to return the money, and they need to recover their deficit, right? The budget deficit. They don't have money. They need money to come back. They either audit you, so you pay it back, or they find you doing it wrong and you return it, right? And small businesses is the one being monitored the most. I wouldn't say that is because the government just don't like small, but no, it's not like that. Because small businesses are the one making the most mistakes. Don't you agree? Small businesses are the ones who did things without all the knowledges, maybe did it wrong unknowingly. So that's why the compliance is here. It's not because they don't like small business. The government go for the low-hanging fruits. Am I right? So just be prepared. You're a small business. You are my client. Yes, you belongs to small business, and you need to really be careful with the compliance. That's your number one success in 2022. If you can deal with that and have your ducks in a row and know everything you did is proper. Business restructuring is also a key for 2022. There's a lot of reason for business restructuring. Maybe you need more capital, you got a new partner, or maybe you know that your business is scaling and you want to reasonably reduce your tax liability. So there's for tax reason, for people reason, for business reason, and you would go for structure. So that is business structuring should be on your roadmap. And whenever you grow, you need to think about that because it's a big deal. Okay, technology and marketing. And we kind of already talked about that. Of course, technology, of course, marketing. Marketing is no longer so traditional like printing your number on the yellow page. When was that, right? Nowadays is streaming. Nowadays is Facebook, the Instagram, and all of these social media things. And if you're just not good with that, you're foreign to it, then you are in the foreign land. You really need to overcome that fear and be part of that, because that is marketing. There is a new terminology came up. It's called multi-hyphenate approach. Multi-hyphenate approach. This is a new buzzword on internet. They're talking about a way to do business in the future. After pandemic, this is the way to do business. They call that multi-hyphenate approach. What is that? It is not really created out of blue. It is what I call McDonald's Playhouse approach. You remember McDonald's has Playhouse while they're selling burgers? That McDonald's Playhouse approach is a multi-hyphenate approach because they are doing things, they're doing other things seemingly related, but not exactly related. So selling burgers, why does it have something to do with the Playhouse? McDonald's knows if they can have a playhouse, the parents bring the kids, so they get burgers and they eat, right? So it is not a brand new concept, but it's becoming much more widely applied. So there is I think it's called Motorcycle Brother. It is in Georgia. This is the company that they're selling motorcycles. So what they did is they also formed a coffee club in the same business. So people coming to have coffee and talk about motorcycles. So they're actually building a business that come along with the other business. So almost like the grocery stores are building the money transferring business with their selling of grocery, right? Seemingly unrelated business, yes. seemingly unrelated business, but they're going together. Why they're going together? Because people who come to buy groceries, and they can also have cash and to wire money. You know, it's so widely there, but it has never really come out as a definition. So now I questioning your approach. So say if you have a restaurant, can you think of something else to tie in your restaurant practice? If you have a law firm, can you tie something up with your law firm so that you have this multi-hyphenate approach? That is become popular. The other thing become popular in today's world, and embracing, more people are embracing that in 2022, is limited edition. What is that? It is one of the kind. And you know, small business, you can never compete. You just cannot compete with Walmart, Target, with all these national chains, Costco, Sam's Club, no. And when you have something that is limited edition, it is only you, it is only special the way you do it, you win. So you can sell at a higher price. So now, is small business is here competing for low price? Absolutely not. Small business is competing for that limited edition, competing for community focused. Okay, and then specialty store is booming. Specialty product is booming. So you may ask me, well, can you give me example? What are the specialty products booming? And, you know, couple categories right now, it is going really, really well. So number one is baby product. Number two is pets supplies for puppies, for the cat and dogs, toys, beauty product, and home improvement, and food trucks, and a ghost kitchen. Ghost kitchens are commercial kitchens that you can lease out for people to use so they can produce product to sell. So those are the products right now. It is on the rise. Then of course, there's also professional service are becoming much more active today than ever. So this is also a trend for 2022. So a couple of examples would be consulting service. You think the consulting service is only limited to the lawyers? No, the consulting service can be anything. You know, what about consulting service for me happy? That is the trend. Yes, you can get someone, you can consult with someone when me not happy. So me can be happy after I get that consulting done, right? You get the counselor to work with you. So I am just giving you examples for creative space right now in 2022. We're talking about how to scale. If you are already working in counseling space, so maybe the naming of it become important, okay? And whether it's mental illness, why are you calling yourself mental illness counseling? I think you should call yourself me happy counseling, because mental illness just does not have the right the right sense for people wanting to go to you, knowing that I'm mentally sick, I go to you. No, I'm not happy, I go to you, right? So those are counseling service. Pet grooming is also booming right now. If you are good with cutting hairs for puppies and cat, and there you go. And event planning, personal training, and cleaning services, tutoring, teaching one-on-one. Those are booming small businesses for 2020, 2022. People are getting started with those kind of services. So to scale, if you already have a cleaning service, you know that you must be going uptrend. You can't be going down. If you are going down, that something is not right. So really, you need to look at your own business, figuring out what was working, what is not working, scale in 2022, because those industries supposed to be booming. CPA firms, law firms, yes. They're, even if you do a bad job, you should be booming. That's very simple because everyone needed you. And in this special environment, there are 16 factors to scale by Forbes magazine. Okay, this is the business magazine, right? They talk about what you do, you can bring your business up. So for 2022, they give 16 points. Let's just go through those 16 points, okay? The number one they give, they say that if you want to make your business grow, the number one things you need to do is to enhance that emotional intelligence and empathy. What does that mean? That means in every businesses, you got to be more human right driven. It just is number one by Forbes magazine. So that tells business owner that yes, and you may be a workaholic yourself and you work day and night, but your staff is not going to work day and night. You know, I tell you this because I'm telling myself this. And this is rated number one on Forbes magazine. Number two, influencer marketing on social media. So what they're saying is that you must have a social media approach for your business, and you must identify a influencer, which is a person, not a brand. It's not Community CPA. It is Ying per se. Does that make sense? So you must be able to identify that influencer in your business. You don't have it, you know, Community CPA don't have to be Ying, can be other staff, can be other, you know, employees who are doing great, and they can be an influencer, but you got to tie that business approach to a person. You see how the first 2 points on the 16 point is on human. Yeah, pandemic comes through. There's a lot of people died from pandemic. Okay, if you don't have anybody around you that you know died, that's a rare event. You know, you heard of people dying, and you heard of people dead from the COVID, and every single person in US knows one way or another someone dies from COVID. And in the first 3 months of COVID time, and I already know someone I know died. So that give a lot of senses of preserving lives. That gives human race a non-reversible tendency of caring. And it just natural. It is something that is not controlled by you and me or any other business people. It is the trend, because we were in unsafe place, coming in out of it, and the people's tendency is safe, trying to be safe. So that gives that calling for every business environment. You need to be safe, you need to care, you need to run those human rights things, and you need to have a person be real, touchable, understandable before you can roll out your business properly. So obviously I'm not hiding, and I lead Community CPA, and I'm not superhuman either. So I have my own, you know, up and downs, and I try to always be positive when I come on webinars, but that doesn't mean after webinar I am positive, all right? I'm just like you, but I understand I am a human, just as a person, just like you are a human. So we just need to understand the trends of the business. And at the end of the day, what I want to do is I want to run this business successfully so I can help more people to be successful. That is the only goal I have. So it doesn't matter if I am not a perfect human, I'll try to be perfect. I'll try to fit that business need. So first, number two, it is all on me. Then number three, big business system and processes. I am so amazed seeing that to be number three. Do you know what that means? That means even though you're running a little business, you need to use big system. You need to use good system, never go down, and then run your business on the digital platform. And you say, well, Ying, I am just little, little business and running a little restaurant. I don't need digital. No, you do. And you need to implement digital approach. Why do you need menu? You can just have the barcode on the table. So people can shoot the barcode and see your menu. That's what I call the California way already. That is just how it is in California. Who is printing menus anymore? Are you crazy? Spending money to print and getting germs all over the place on the menu, right? So those are the things. Small business, you can use big business approach. So there are also software companies. They're making it so accessible. Small business can subscribe to that big system. So it's not like you have to design your system. No, you just need to look for the big system and hop on to the big system. Number 4, expanded recruiting effort. Look at that. So they're saying that as a business for 2022, you need to recruit, expand it. If you do that in this way, do it in even better way, more ways, because you want to make sure that your recruiting is going actively. So there you go. That's number 4. And number 5, family first workplace value. This is what Forbes magazine says, that to scale your business, the number 5 point is family value. Family value means what? Care about the families, care about the staff's employees' families. If they have babies, yes, the babies comes first. And if they have family member who is sick, yes, that person comes first. So that is a basic. That is number 5 on the important list to scale. All right, number 6, networking with business owners. You know why they do that? Everything listed here, I am like, that's right on. And why networking with business owners? Because if you don't come to this webinar, you might feel lonely for running your business. You're sitting there goes, why am I losing all my staff? Why nobody wants to come to work at my place? Why my customer just so pissed off all the time? Didn't you ask yourself that question? I know you did, because all of my clients did. It's a phenomenon. It's not you. It is the surrounding. Yes, it is you, because it's reflected in your daily life, but it's reflected on other people's daily life too. If you affiliate yourself with other business owners, you'll hear them saying that. You know what that do to you? Mentally, it will actually give you a little comfort, knowing that you're not alone. Just almost like when you join certain club, and you're not alone, because in this club, there are people just like you. So you can feel the momentum, feel it is normal, and have confidence in your own feelings, and knowing that that shall pass. It will come through. Okay, so networking with business owners. One way to network is just come around our webinars, because that's what we talk. We talk about all the other business, all the problems with other business owners. And so we make that a topic. And if nobody ever asked me about, oh, what should we do in 2022? Why am I just having my customer pissed off all the time? I never have so many. I have too many. And, if you don't bring those questions up, if you don't talk about what happened to your business, then we won't even think of doing this webinar. And then Forbes magazine would never thought of to ask for 16 factors of how to scale to next year. And the number 7 they had is efficiency in digital marketing. We talked about that. That's a way of life, folks. I actually really don't like Facebook. I'll tell you why I don't like it. It's not because Facebook is not good. It's because I'm addicted to it. It is very scary, because I see myself spending like hours on Facebook, looking at the videos and stuff. It's just scary. So I don't have that kind of time. So I put Facebook on my phone to the very last page, so I don't see the notifications of how many were there. So this morning I looked at it, it's 96 of them. So notifications. So I just, don't look at them. But it is way of life, folks. And I think you have a better control than me. I get addicted to it. So I try to save myself. But if you're not addicted to it and you're using it really wisely, why not? I mean, you should do that for yourself. Flexible service and product delivery. That is another one on the number 9. What that means is when situation changes, you change. When your product needs to change, you change abruptly, quickly, and you meet customer design easily. Service too. And, example would be like when we had this RF coming up, you know how they say is first come, first serve. So at our firm, we actually had staff didn't even sleep for 48 hours because all we did is to plan all the steps and then, disseminating the procedures, making sure everyone knows what to do. When 9 o'clock hit, we all get on and getting our client applied. And, I know there's no data for me to figure out, the ratio of applicants we sent up and how many was funded, how many was not funded and all that. But I'm pretty sure if there is a ratio out there, I think our client probably got the most advantage of all the work we did. So we shifted really fast among our staff. Of course, credit to my staff, right? They're all really caring. And we have a whole bunch of people here at Community CPA really cares. I don't even know how we got together, but this is just who we are. And so if we do something untimely, we really feel very difficult to swallow that. For that reason, we're always putting our clients' interest ahead of ourselves. So we have like at least 3 people didn't sleep for 48 hours. In order to get that done. So this is flexibility. In order to scale, in order to do the business right, you have to have that capability. I'm not saying that we need to do that every day. No, I don't do that every day, but you need to be able to do that when is required, right? Then number 10, coaching and monitoring employees. This is coming with developing people. A successful business has to have a way to develop people. It is easy and it is also hard. I'll tell you the easy one. The easy is because the people is right in front of you. You can really develop your employees on a daily basis. You watch what they do and you know how to coach them to be better, right? It is also hard is because, not every of your employee can be coached in such a way that they can become a leader. Not every one of them. But if you are a business owner like myself, and I really want to see people who are with me successful. So my task is to making sure that I develop people within, right? The people who are following me for years and years, and I want them to be successful. So I think this is where the Forbes magazine also recognized that to have that culture in the business also guarantees a good success. It is not easy because there's shortcomings for everyone who come on board. Maybe that shortcoming is exactly what you needed for this position. Then how are you working with it? People don't have to be naturally good at something. People can be trained. People can have different personality when they come to work versus outside of work. So that is how far a skill can be developed. So don't limit your employee and don't limit yourself. And Forbes magazine says that's a number 10 importance to develop people internally in order to scale. So that makes sense to me. Okay, embracing videos. This is exactly what we do. See, we are actually on webinars, and this obviously become a video. So we are embracing that. We bring that to you so you can actually learn from the videos as well. So that is number 11 listed by Forbes. And the 12, hybrid workplaces, which means flexibility. employee can work from home, workplace. It is a little easier for firms like our firm to do that just because technology allows us to do that. But I know it is difficult for some of the services, for example, nail shops and for example, retail stores. So how can you be so, you can't really work from home to do retailing, right? So, but you still can embrace that idea and figure things out. So maybe it is, you do have to have people on the front line, but you other people in the company maybe don't have to be coming to the office, punching in time card like that, right? So that would be that listed as 12. The number 13 is mental health in workplace. That's that mental health in workplace listed at number 13, and in my personal space is number 1. It is really important to have your workplace mental health checked because that can bring tremendous damages to your business if you are not controlling the mental health. Okay. So that's actually listed on the 13. The 14 is strategic inventory management. So inventory management is by itself is a huge topic. I mean, I met with a grocery store business owner last week, and I was going through the layout of the store and making sure that the business owner knows how to finish the year-end accounting for the inventory. We talk about the spoilage charges in the grocery store industry, and we talk about how refrigerations and things like that, expiration days, how that can be extended and what can be extended. So all of these, they're talking about strategic inventory management, which means that the inventory is connected to the well-being of your business. You can't have too much inventory. I tell my folks that if inventory cost of goods sold and the profit make you confused, you don't understand the accounting of it, just remember this. The more inventory you buy and keep, the more taxes you pay, and the less money you have. I repeat myself. The more inventory you buy and you keep, the more taxes you pay, the less cash you have. So reverse that. The less inventory you keep, the less taxes you pay, the more cash you would have. So inventory is really, really important. If you needed to understand that more in depth, obviously contact our firm and we can definitely do that part of work for you and give you the strategic directions on your inventory management. Okay. And maximize utilization of Google. That's a 15, number 15. Really, and Google is a powerful search engine. And you want to make sure your business is visible on Google and visible in such a way that you come up first, right? Figure that out. I don't know how you do it, but you definitely can hire people to get that in. That's listed as a 15. Number 15 for scaling your business in 2022. The last one, the last 16 is personal branding. Personal branding. Remember we talked about influencer marketing on the social media. That was number 2. Remember that? And personal branding is reflected of that because, as much as internet becoming so widespread, we almost feel like we can be invisible and, business is business and I don't have to be part of it. But what the expert is saying is you really need to put your face out there. You have to be a person. You have to be a branding that reflected on a face. Does that make sense? So you cannot be just a community CPA with a logo. And if you don't have a face attached to it, which is all of our face, right? So we're branding with our personal image. And I'm branding community CPA with me, right? You hear me talking Chinglish. My English is not even perfect, but that's just how I am. I couldn't be any better and I just couldn't be any worse either. I am just this way. And I am branding it this way. So people who doesn't like my way of speaking, they don't have to be fall in love with Community CPA, but there will be people just like you are really in love with Community CPA. And you know, when you think of how you like Community CPA, possibly you are thinking about me. Possibly you remember I was talking on YouTube, because I got emails from my followers all the time. Hi Ying, you don't know me, but I know you really well because yesterday whole day I watched almost all of your videos. I was just, amazed with people who do that, but they do. And then they start talking. So we already bound that way. So this is the way to grow your business in 2022, folks. So now, and giving you all these line items, what you need to do. And if we just sit back, close our eyes, and think of 2022, and I want you to think of your employee, make them number one, and make branding number two. And remember, always do compliance matter. It is really important. If you can do all of that, and you have a 2022 set already for yourself. And you may ask me, Ying, you were talking like that. Are you set for 2022? I am trying to, and I am working really hard on getting all of these things Forbes magazine was talking about. So I am actually getting a Me Happy coach for all of my employees. So I will announce that very soon. And I'm also working on the IT side of things, and I'm making better connections with my client by using a brand new CRM system. So I am doing that. And I use the big business system. I don't, we are small, but we use big business system. And I expanded my recruiting effort. So if you are here today, and I want you to know that we are looking for team members who join Community CPA. If you know anyone who wants to make accounting their career, join us. So that's what we're gonna do. And we're expanding our recruiting effort and making that number 4 on Forbes magazine a priority for our firm. Of course, I network with you. I network with my clients. We have 10,000 clients. And so I understand the business owners. I never felt alone for my own business struggle just because I know how everyone else is doing. So that's a side benefit for being a CPA firm, right? But I hope that I pass that on to you. So knowing Community CPA can be your side benefit. So you learn from what we're talking about, know that you're doing great. Don't criticize yourself too hard. It is not an easy year. 2021 is actually harder than 2020. It is true for many of my clients, and true for us, true for me. So I believe that is true for you as well. Don't beat yourself up. 2022 will be better. I hope to talk to you again for next webinar. Good luck with your planning of year end. Don't forget to do tax planning with Community CPA. And good luck with planning projecting 2022. And we will continue our webinar just like now in year 2022 to offer all the knowledge we have to you so you can be stronger, better, more successful business. Talk to you again. Bye-bye.